How you doing? My name is Thunder, and welcome finally to the last part of the Need for Speed Most Wanted car build for vanilla cars. Basically, the last part where before we get right into continuing with actual car mods. This is, of course, I decided to stay for last because it'd just be kind of interesting. Because the Mercedes-Benz cars in this game have been quite disappointing. The CLK 500 especially, and the SL 500 have definitely flopped, to say the least. But one of the last cars, of course, you get in the game is the SLR McLaren. Is this car just another case of disappointment? Or could this be the lone Mercedes that could finally crack the barrier to be an actual real good car? Interestingly enough, the top speed stats a little bit lower than I would be expecting, though the acceleration seems to be very strong and the handling seems to be up there. But as the Mercedes-Benz cars have been showing me, that handling stat may not be true. But the way to find out if the handling is false like I'm imagining it to be, or could be true after all, is to take the SLR McLaren around the Petersburg test track for 6 laps to get as fast of a lap time as I possibly can. The current leader is the Porsche Carrera GT with a 57.45 second lap time. And, well, it finally looks like we have a Mercedes that isn't bad in the handling department. In fact, it's actually pretty good. I still wouldn't say it's as strong as some of the other cars we've seen, but at least now, finally, we've got a car that's at least doing a lot better in the handling department compared to the CLK 500 or the SL 500. It's about time we finally had a car. We finally had a Mercedes to do so, and wouldn't you know, it's the last car I have until the mods, as I've already mentioned. Now, I guess I'm going to go briefly into the mods things to explain it. For the first few parts going into the mods, it's going to work as this. The first car you'll see me do mod-wise is one that I personally chose to want to do for a particular reason, and then the next few cars, will be ones that I were requested to do by close friends of mine, because I basically asked them on what I should use, and that's what they tell me. Afterwards, after I've done that, that's when it's going to open up to doing basically requests. Now keep in mind, I can only do cars that have been made for the game. With car mods, you kind of have to expect that not everything exists. Therefore, I can only try to get what I can find and basically run with it. So keep in mind that when you're requesting for me to do a car mod, make sure a mod for the car actually exists. The best way to find out is that there's various websites to go to, but the two high ones I would recommend, of course, are nfscars.net and gtrcars.net. They have pretty much some of the bigger libraries of car mods that you're going to find for the game. So that will pretty much be my main sources of use for when I'm going to be doing the mod videos for modded car builds and whatnot. Of course, if there's anything else I find that happens to be outside of that, I will mention it. When I get to the mod cars, I'll be posting a link to each particular car mod for every particular video, so keep that in mind. And it'll probably also be around that time too, where maybe the videos for this will start to slow down a little bit, because of course I have to wait on what people request I do, of course, so that's pretty much all I can really do about that, to say the least. But just thought I'd mention that so you get an idea of exactly how it's going to work out and all that kind of stuff. And I will say right now, the SLR is handling good. I could honestly perhaps be doing a little better with it, or at least maybe I'm not doing enough justice, because that's a 1 minute .96. The previous lap was 1 minute .85, which is not quite as hot as I thought it would be. But a lot of me feels that I could still potentially get a better time with this. I just feel like maybe I haven't been pushing this thing enough or something. And of course, here's my AA car, because again, that sequence of him getting stuck and all that stuff, and it got in the way. Sorry, but I really have to in this sort of situation, because I got screwed over and all that kind of jazz, and probably doesn't even matter anyways. I didn't really use it enough to help me out anyways. This time will not be better than what I have. So If it is, though, I'll be quite shocked, but I don't expect it to say the least. Ooh, still managed to avoid that. I mean, it feels like this car could do somewhere in the 59-second range, but I just haven't been able to get there. So, oh man, that corner still gives me problems even now. And this is, you think by having done all the cars up to this point, I would have really gotten the hang of it, and I seem to have for some cars, but in the case of others like this, I'm still kind of inconsistent to say the least. So, oops. But anyways, I'm still hoping I can at least, I really want to get this thing down to, yeah, it may not happen. It may not happen. I'm starting to think, man, that's gonna be quite disappointing to say the least. Come on, let's at least keep this car going to see where I fare off with this. Like I said, I'm really trying to push here. I'm trying to do as much as I can to keep this thing going as fast around the track as possible. 1 minute 0.36. Okay, that is actually my best lap I've done so far with those little hiccups. So I can eliminate those little hiccups. I can intentionally have the time I want to get for this. Of course, though, there's no real way of knowing until, of course, I've actually, if I can, of course, actually set that time. So, anyways. Excuse me. Yeah, you could just try to see, just trying to get as close to corners as I can, just trying to keep as much speed as I can. I just really want to nail this, and I'm trying my damn hardest. I think this is so far turning out to be, at least it feels like this is going to be the best lap I'm going to have done so far, but we'll find out. And that was actually really good around there. Please tell me I beat my 1 minute 0.36. Please tell me. Yes! Well, actually, quite a bit, too. 59.48 seconds. I knew this car could do it. I just really had to push for it. But there we go. A 59.48 seconds puts the car right into 9th place, sitting below the Corvette C6R, Golf GTI, and whatnot. But it beats the Acura S, and Mazda RX-7, and Dodge Viper. So there we go. 34 of the main cars in the game tested, and we all now know how they did. So just before we actually get to the mods, there's one other thing I'm going to show off here, because I imagine that if I didn't, people would get more and more curious. So stay tuned, it's going to be a pretty big part, and then once that's done, we're going to go right into the mods. So, leave your thoughts down below if you have any in the comments section, and as always, thank you for watching, and take care.